The large screen in the Galactic Council chamber showed a small blue planet spinning slowly in space. Most of the council members looked at it with contempt, while others showed mild interest. High Speaker Dex stood up from his floating chair and pointed at the image. "This is Earth," he said, his voice echoing in the grand chamber. "A primitive world that has become too dangerous to ignore. Their technology is advancing too quickly. We must act now, before they discover us and become a real threat." The other council members nodded in agreement. They had seen many worlds like Earth before, young, aggressive species that needed to be controlled. They decided to send just a small fleet. After all, how dangerous could these humans be? They were wrong, very wrong. Captain James Miller stood at the window of the International Space Station, drinking his morning coffee, when the first alien ships appeared. They came out of nowhere, their silver hulls gleaming in the sunlight. His coffee cup floated away, forgotten, as he rushed to sound the alarm. Multiple unknown vessels detected. He shouted into the radio, "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." Within minutes, the news spread across Earth. Phones buzzed, TVs switched to emergency broadcasts, and social media exploded with videos of the alien ships. But something unexpected happened. Instead of panic, humanity showed its true colors. Years of watching sci-fi movies and reading books about alien invasions had somehow prepared them for this moment. People were scared, yes, but they were also ready. Military bases worldwide went into action. Hidden bunkers, built in secret by governments who had always suspected they weren't alone in the universe, opened their doors. The aliens struck first, their energy weapons lighting up the sky above New York. They expected the humans to run in fear. Instead, they got their first surprise. Hidden anti-aircraft guns, modified in secret to work against energy shields, roared to life. The first alien ship exploded in a ball of fire, its debris falling into the ocean. The Council fleet commander couldn't believe his eyes. These primitives had weapons that could hurt them. Miller watched from the space station as more alien ships appeared. But now Earth was fighting back. Russian fighters launched into the sky, followed by American, Chinese, and European aircraft. For the first time in history, all of Earth's military forces fought together against a common enemy. "Keep them busy," Miller ordered through the global emergency channel. "The longer we hold, the more we learn about their technology." The aliens' second surprise came when they tried to hack Earth's communications. They found themselves blocked by surprisingly strong cyber defenses. Unknown to them, Earth's best programmers had been preparing for years, creating firewalls and systems designed to stop exactly this kind of attack. The battle raged for hours. Earth lost many brave pilots and soldiers, but they made the aliens pay for every inch. When an alien ship crashed near a military base in Nevada, human scientists swarmed over it like ants, already learning, already adapting. High Speaker Dex received the first battle reports with disbelief. The small fleet had lost 3 ships. To primitives. Impossible. He ordered more ships to join the attack, but doubt had already crept into his mind. Back on Earth, Miller had been picked up from the space station by a secret space plane. In the underground command center beneath Mount Cheyenne, he looked at the battle reports with grim satisfaction. Yes, they were taking heavy losses, but they were also learning. Each alien ship they damaged or destroyed taught them more about their enemy's technology. "Send this message to all commands," he ordered. "This is just the beginning. Earth will not fall. We've prepared for this day, and we will show these aliens why they should have never underestimated us." The message spread across the globe, translated into every language. In bunkers and bases, in cities and villages, humans nodded in agreement. They had watched countless movies about alien invasions, read hundreds of books about humanity fighting back against the odds. Now it was their turn to live it. As the first day of battle ended, the Council fleet commander sent an urgent message back to the Galactic Council. These humans were different. They didn't run. They didn't surrender. They fought back with unexpected skill and determination. And somehow, impossibly, they seemed to be getting stronger with each passing hour. The invasion had begun. But it wouldn't go the way the Galactic Council had planned. Not at all. 3 days after the invasion began, Dr. Emma Brooks stood in a secret underground lab beneath the Rocky Mountains. Around her, dozens of scientists worked on pieces of the alien ship that had crashed in Nevada. The room hummed with energy as they tested stolen alien technology. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a holographic display. "Their power systems aren't actually that different from ours. They just use better materials." She turned to Captain Miller, who had just arrived from the command center. "Give me 2 more days, and I can show you something amazing." Miller nodded, but his face showed worry. Above ground, the battles continued. Earth's forces were fighting bravely, but they were losing ground. They needed a breakthrough, and they needed it fast. In space, the Council Fleet Commander watched Earth with growing frustration. These humans were like nothing he had ever seen. Every time his ships destroyed one of their weapons, the humans came back with a better one. They learned and adapted at an impossible speed. "Sir," one of his officers called out, "we're detecting strange energy readings from their moon." The commander's eyes widened as hidden bases on the moon revealed themselves. Humanity had been preparing for this day for years, building secret facilities and weapons while pretending to be primitive. Laser cannons emerged from the lunar surface, their design clearly inspired by stolen technology from crashed scout ships that had visited Earth years ago. Back in the underground lab, Dr. Brooks worked without sleep. She had discovered something in the alien ship's computer that changed everything. "Their AI systems are too rigid," she explained to her team. "They follow rules perfectly, but they can't think creatively like humans can." She showed them how to combine human AI systems with alien technology. The results were incredible. Their new hybrid systems could break through alien defenses that pure alien or human technology couldn't touch. In the council chamber, high-speaker decks received more disturbing news. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were getting stronger. Somehow, they had already learned to copy some alien technology. It was impossible. No species had ever adapted so quickly. "They're hiding something," he told the council. "No primitive world could advance this fast. Send in the main fleet. Crush them before they become even stronger." But Earth had more surprises waiting. Dr. Brooks finally revealed her team's greatest achievement. They had not only copied alien shield technology, they had improved it. The new shields were stronger and used less power than the alien versions. "How did you do this so quickly?" Miller asked her, amazed at the test results. "We've had 20 years to prepare," she answered with a smile. "Ever since we captured that scout ship in 1999. We couldn't build these shields back then, but we learned everything we could. We were ready when they finally came." All around the world, secret bunkers opened to reveal advanced weapons and vehicles. Humanity had known they weren't alone in the universe. While they had pretended to be primitive, they had been getting ready for this fight. The Council Fleet Commander watched in horror as new human weapons appeared on the battlefield. Their fighters now carried energy weapons. Their tanks had shield generators. And their soldiers wore armor that looked suspiciously like improved versions of Council military gear. "Impossible," he shouted, watching another of his ships fall to Earth's defenses. "They're using our own technology against us." Dr. Brooks worked with military leaders worldwide, sharing the hybrid technology she had developed. Earth's forces grew stronger each day. The aliens had expected to find a primitive world. Instead, they found a planet full of humans who had spent years preparing for this moment. In the command center, Miller received reports of human victories from around the globe. Dr. Brooks's improvements to their weapons and defenses were turning the tide. The aliens were still stronger, but now Earth had a real chance to fight back. "Send word to all commands," Miller ordered. "Operation Hidden Shield is now active. Show them what humanity can really do." The Council was about to learn that they hadn't just awakened a sleeping giant. They had awakened a giant that had been quietly getting ready for this fight all along. Stealth systems engaged, Captain Miller whispered, watching the display as his ship approached the alien monitoring station near Mars. His crew held their breath. They were flying Earth's first stealth spaceship, built using Dr. Brooks's hybrid technology. If it worked, the aliens wouldn't see them coming. The alien station grew larger in their view, its sensors pointing away from them. They were invisible. The new stealth technology was working perfectly. "Remember," Miller said to his strike team, "we only get one shot at this. Get in, grab their data cores, and get out." Back on Earth, Dr. Brooks watched the mission from the command center. She had stayed awake for 3 days straight, perfecting the stealth technology. Now everything depended on it working as planned. The Council monitoring station's crew had no idea they were about to be attacked. They watched Earth with their advanced sensors, sending reports about human military movements to the invasion fleet. They felt safe, protected by their superior technology. They were wrong. Miller's team cut through the station's hull using tools designed by Dr. Brooks. The aliens inside never saw them coming. Within minutes, the human strike team had control of the station. As alien crew members reached for their weapons, they discovered another surprise. The humans were wearing armor that blocked their energy weapons. "Data core secured," Miller reported, watching his team download the alien database. Beginning Phase 2. Across the solar system, 5 more human strike teams attacked other monitoring stations at the same time. The Council fleet commander received multiple distress calls at once. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. How had the humans reached these stations without being detected? Dr. Brooks worked quickly to decode the stolen data. Her eyes widened as she read the alien files. "Captain," she called Miller on the secure channel, "you need to see this. We found their entire battle plan. And something even better. The Council's fleet positions, their communication codes, their weapon specifications. Everything was in the data cores. But the biggest discovery was something else. Proof that the Council had been secretly watching Earth for centuries, breaking their own laws about contacting developing worlds." High-speaker decks received the news of the lost monitoring stations with growing fear. How had these primitives developed stealth technology so quickly? And worse, what would they find in the stolen data cores? Miller's team didn't just steal data. They left something behind in each station. Advanced computer viruses designed by Earth's best programmers. As the viruses spread through the Council's networks, their communications began to break down. "Sir," a Council officer reported to the fleet commander, "we're losing contact with our supply ships. Someone is using our own codes against us." The humans had learned from thousands of years of warfare on Earth. They knew that armies needed supplies to fight. Using the stolen codes, they began attacking the Council's supply lines. One by one, supply ships disappeared, their cargo stolen by quick, striking human raiders. Dr. Brooks worked with military leaders to plan the next attacks. "Their ships are faster," she explained, "but we know where they're going to be. We can set traps using their own data against them." The Council fleet commander watched helplessly as his carefully planned invasion fell apart. The humans seemed to be everywhere at once, striking from the shadows, disappearing before he could respond. They fought like no species he had ever seen before. In the Council chamber, high-speaker decks faced angry questions. How had they lost control so quickly? Why hadn't they taken the humans more seriously? The Council members who had supported the invasion were now backing away, trying to avoid blame. "Send this message to all Earth forces," Miller ordered from his ship near Mars. "Operation Shadow Strike is a success. Begin Phase 3. Dr. Brooks smiled as she read the battle reports. The aliens had superior technology, but humans had something better: the ability to think creatively and adapt quickly. While the Council relied on their standard tactics, humans changed their strategy constantly, never doing the same thing twice. The counterattack had begun, And the Galactic Council was about to learn why you should never corner a species that had spent its entire history learning how to fight. Ambassador Thomas Gray walked confidently through the neutral space station, flanked by 2 guards wearing Earth's new powered armor. The aliens they passed stepped back nervously. Just a month ago, humans had been considered primitives. Now, they were feared. In the council chamber, High Speaker Dex watched the human delegation approach. He had been forced to accept this meeting after Earth threatened to release proof of the Council's illegal actions. Behind him, representatives from other alien species whispered among themselves. "Welcome to Starpoint Station," Dex said stiffly, "though I must protest the irregular nature of." "Save your protests," Gray interrupted, his voice firm but calm. He activated a holographic display showing hundreds of secret Council missions to Earth. "We found these files in your monitoring stations. Would you like to explain why you broke your own laws about watching developing worlds?" The chamber erupted in shocked murmurs. Dr. Brooks, watching through a secure video feed from Earth, smiled as she saw several council members shifting uncomfortably in their seats. The data they had stolen was doing its work. More importantly, Gray continued, "We found proof that certain council members have been stealing technology from developing worlds for personal profit. Would you like to explain that as well?" Now the chamber exploded with angry shouts. Captain Miller, commanding Earth's defense fleet from orbit, watched through his own feed as the Council's unity began to crack. Everything was going according to plan. "This is outrageous," Dex shouted, but his voice shook slightly. "These humans are trying to divide us with lies." "Are we?" Gray asked calmly. He turned to address the full chamber. "We've sent copies of all our evidence to every member species. Read it yourselves. Make your own decisions." In the corners of the chamber, representatives from younger council species watched with great interest. They had always resented the older species' control of the council. Now they saw a chance for change. Back on Earth, Dr. Brooks received an encrypted message from one of these younger species. They wanted to secretly trade technology with Earth. Within hours, similar messages arrived from 3 other species. "They're scared of us," she told Miller over their secure channel. "But they're more scared of staying under the old council's control. We can use this." The council meeting descended into chaos as more revelations came out. Gray stood calmly in the center, watching alliances that had lasted for centuries begin to break apart. Earth wasn't just fighting with weapons anymore. They were fighting with information. "We don't want war," Gray announced to the chamber. "We want justice. We want change, and we're not alone." He gestured to several representatives who had already spoken privately with Earth. They stood up, showing their support. High Speaker Dex watched helplessly as his control slipped away. The humans hadn't just beaten them in battle. They were now beating them at politics too. How had this primitive species learned to play galactic politics so quickly? Miller received reports of more alien ships approaching Earth, but these weren't attackers. They were diplomatic vessels from species wanting to establish relations with humanity. Earth was quickly becoming the center of a political storm that threatened to reshape the galaxy. "This is how we win," Dr. Brooks explained to her team as they watched the council meeting. "Not just with weapons, but by showing them that the old way of doing things is over." Gray left the council chamber that day having achieved something remarkable. Earth wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. They were fighting to change the entire galactic political system. And they were winning. "Send word to Earth," he told his staff as they headed back to their ship. "Tell them Phase 4 is complete. The Council is splitting apart just as we planned." The human delegation departed, leaving behind a council in turmoil. The aliens had thought they were dealing with simple primitives. Instead, they found themselves facing a species that could fight with words just as well as they fought with weapons. And Earth was just getting started. Dr. Brooks stood in her lab, surrounded by holographic displays showing her latest invention. She had been working on it for weeks, combining human creativity with alien technology in ways the Council had never imagined possible. "It's ready," she announced to Captain Miller, who watched with interest. "We're calling it the adaptive shield. It doesn't just block attacks, it learns from them." On the main screen, they watched as the test ship activated its new shields. Council weapons fired at it, each blast absorbed and analyzed by the shield's artificial intelligence. With each hit, the shields grew stronger. "Impossible," the Council weapons expert shouted, watching the test from their own monitors. "Shields can't adapt like that. It breaks all known laws of energy physics." But humans had never cared much for what aliens thought was impossible. While the Council relied on tried and tested technology, Earth's scientists tried new ideas that the aliens had never even considered. Miller directed the test ship through a series of attacks. Each time the Council weapons hit it, the shields glowed brighter. "How long before we can put this on all our ships?" he asked. "Mass production begins tomorrow," Brooks replied with a smile. "The aliens gave us their technology thinking we'd copy it. Instead, we're improving it in ways they never imagined." In the Council chamber, high-speaker decks received the weapons test report with growing horror. The humans weren't just catching up anymore. They were pulling ahead. Their hybrid technology combined the best of alien science with human innovation. "Sir," a Council officer called out in panic, "the humans are launching something near Mars." They watched as Earth revealed its newest space station, built in secret using their improved technology. Its weapons were unlike anything the Council had ever seen, a perfect blend of human and alien design. "That's impossible," Dex whispered. "They can't have built something that advanced so quickly." But they had. Dr. Brooks had led a team of Earth's brightest minds, working day and night to push technology forward. They took alien computers and made them think in new ways. They took alien weapons and made them more powerful. They took alien shields and made them adapt. Miller commanded the first patrol of ships equipped with the new adaptive shields. They moved through space with confidence, no longer afraid of alien weapons. Earth's fleet was smaller than the Council's, but now each human ship was worth 10 alien vessels. "Begin the defense test," Miller ordered. They had to show the Council exactly what Earth's new technology could do. The aliens attacked with their strongest weapons. Energy beams that could crack planets hit the human ships. But the adaptive shields held firm, growing stronger with each blast. The Council gunners watched in disbelief as their most powerful attacks simply made Earth's defenses better. Dr. Brooks worked at her console, monitoring the shield data. "Every time they hit us, we learn more about their weapons," she explained to her team. "The shields are recording everything, adapting, improving. We're turning their attacks into our advantage." The Council's military leaders met in emergency session. These humans were advancing too fast, learning too quickly. Several alien species were already asking Earth to share its new technology. The balance of power was shifting. "Send word to all ships," Miller commanded from his bridge. "Operation Technological Edge is now active. Show them exactly what humanity can do when we're pushed to our limits." Earth's ships moved out across the solar system, each one protected by shields that grew stronger with every attack. The aliens had thought humans would take centuries to match their technology. Instead, it had taken months. Dr. Brooks watched the tactical display with pride as green dots representing Earth ships spread out through space. "We didn't just copy their technology," she said to her team. "We made it better, and we're just getting started." The Council was learning a hard lesson. Never underestimate a species that sees impossible challenges as opportunities to innovate. Jupiter's massive form filled the view screens as the largest space battle in Earth's history began. Captain Miller stood on his flagship's bridge, watching as the Council's main fleet approached. Behind him, Earth's ships moved into position, their adaptive shields glowing softly in the darkness of space. "They brought everything they have," his tactical officer reported. "Over 300 ships. They're trying to end this in one battle." Miller smiled. "That's exactly what we wanted them to do." Dr. Brooks watched from Earth's command center as the battle formations took shape. The Council fleet was arranged in their standard attack pattern. the same one they'd used for thousands of years. But humans never fought the same way twice. All ships, execute Battle Plan Phoenix, Miller commanded. Earth's fleet suddenly split into smaller groups, moving in ways that made no sense to the alien commanders. It looked like chaos, but every move was carefully planned. High Speaker Dex watched from his command ship as the human fleet scattered. "They're running away," he declared triumphantly. "All ships, advance and destroy them." But the humans weren't running. They were setting a trap. As the Council fleet moved forward, Earth's ships suddenly appeared behind and between them, attacking from impossible angles. The Council's rigid formation, which had won them countless battles against other aliens, now became their weakness. "Adaptive shields at full power," Miller ordered. "Show them what we can do." The Council ships fired their strongest weapons, but Earth's shields only grew stronger. Dr. Brooks's invention was working perfectly. Every attack made their defenses better. Meanwhile, human weapons, improved with hybrid technology, tore through the alien ship's standard shields. "Impossible," Dex shouted as another group of his ships exploded. "How are they predicting our every move?" The answer was simple. While aliens relied on their traditional tactics, humans used their greatest weapon, their ability to think differently. Miller's battle plan used strategies from ancient Earth battles, video games, and even sports plays. The Council had no defense against tactics they'd never seen before. "Sir," Miller's tactical officer called out, "3 more Council species are declaring neutrality. They're pulling their ships out of the fight." The battle was turning into a rout. Council ships exploded or retreated in chaos as Earth's forces struck from all directions. Their perfect formation had become a perfect target. Dr. Brooks monitored the battle data, watching as the adaptive shields grew even stronger. "Send this data to all ships," she ordered. "Let them see how we're beating their best weapons." More alien species began retreating. They had seen enough. Earth wasn't just winning. They were revolutionizing space combat. Several Council ship captains even surrendered, wanting to save their crews from destruction. High Speaker Dex watched in horror as his grand fleet fell apart. Centuries of Council military tradition were being destroyed by human innovation. "Fall back," he finally ordered. "All ships retreat." But it was too late. Miller's forces had positioned themselves perfectly, cutting off the Council fleet's escape routes. "No more running," Miller declared. "It's time to end this." Earth's ships moved in for the final attack. Their improved weapons, combined with the now nearly invincible adaptive shields, made the outcome certain. The Council's mighty fleet, which had terrorized the galaxy for centuries, was about to be destroyed or captured by the very primitives they had tried to conquer. "Send word to Earth," Miller ordered as the last Council ships surrendered. "The battle is over. We've won." In the command center, Dr. Brooks received the news with quiet satisfaction. Their technology, their tactics, and their willingness to try new ideas had overcome the Council's superior numbers and centuries of experience. As the debris of Council ships floated around Jupiter, the galaxy's power structure changed forever. The species that everyone had dismissed as primitives had just defeated the greatest fleet in known space. The message was clear. Humanity wasn't just ready to join the galactic community. They were ready to lead it. 1 month after the Battle of Jupiter, Ambassador Gray stood before the reformed Galactic Council. The chamber looked very different now. The old council members' grand seats had been replaced by a simple circular arrangement where all species sat as equals. High Speaker Dex and his supporters were gone, awaiting trial for their crimes. "The time for change has come," Gray announced to the gathered representatives. "Earth proposes a new way forward, not as rulers, but as partners." Captain Miller, now promoted to fleet commander, watched from his position near the chamber's entrance. His new uniform displayed both Earth's flag and the symbol of the Reformed Council. The victory had changed everything, but humans hadn't forgotten the lessons they'd learned. "Our first proposal," Gray continued, is to share Dr. Brooks's innovations with all peaceful species. Knowledge shouldn't be hoarded by the powerful. It should help everyone advance. In her new laboratory on the International Science Station, Dr. Brooks was already working with alien scientists. They had been amazed by how she combined technologies in new ways. More importantly, they were learning that humans' greatest strength wasn't their weapons or shields. It was their ability to think differently. "We also propose a new defense agreement," Gray said. "Any species that wants to remain peaceful should be protected from aggression. Earth's fleet will help maintain this peace." The chamber erupted in applause. Many species had suffered under the old council's rule. Now they saw hope for a better future. Miller smiled as he watched several former enemy commanders nodding in agreement. They had fought against humans. Now they wanted to learn from them. "But we must also address the past," Gray continued more seriously. "The old council's crimes must be investigated. Every species deserves to know what was done to them." Dr. Brooks had already uncovered more evidence of the old council's corruption. They hadn't just watched Earth. They had interfered with dozens of developing worlds, stealing resources and technology for their own gain. All of this would now be exposed. Finally, Gray said, "We propose a new rule. No more primitive worlds. Every species has something to teach us. Every world deserves the chance to develop in its own way." Miller remembered how the aliens had once called humans primitive. Now those same aliens were asking Earth to teach them about innovation and adaptation. It was a powerful reminder to never judge by appearances. The vote was unanimous. The new council charter was approved, with Earth taking a leading role in shaping the galaxy's future. But humans hadn't forgotten their own history. They knew power could corrupt anyone. "We will help maintain peace," Gray promised, "but we won't rule over others. The galaxy belongs to all of us." Dr. Brooks's new technology center would ensure that no species could become too powerful. By sharing innovations freely, they would prevent anyone from gaining the kind of technological advantage the old council had abused. Miller's fleet began its first patrol under the new charter. Earth ships, now joined by vessels from other species, would protect peaceful worlds from any who tried to follow the old council's ways. "The galaxy is changing," Dr. Brooks told her mixed team of human and alien scientists. "But change can be good if we guide it wisely." As the reformed council session ended, Gray looked out at the stars through the station's huge windows. Humanity had not only survived, they had helped create something better. Their fierce retaliation against invasion had led to a new age of cooperation and progress. "Send the final message to Earth," Gray told his staff. "Tell them, mission accomplished. The real work begins now." The galaxy would never be the same. The species that everyone had once dismissed as primitive had shown them a new way forward. And this was just the beginning of humanity's journey among the stars. "Remember," Miller told his crew as they prepared for their first peacekeeping mission, "we're not here to conquer. We're here to protect and help others grow. That's what makes us different from the old council." Earth had won more than a war. They had won the chance to build a better future for all species, and they would never forget the lesson that had brought them here. True strength comes not from power, but from how you use it.